Great morning, great morning, great morning, you guys. Come on in, come on in. Great morning. Come on in. Come on in, come on in. I'm going to let y'all get in. While I'm waiting for y'all to come in, let me go ahead and share. Great morning. Hey, April. Great morning, gorgeous. Good to see you. Good to see you. Thank you for sharing, April. I'm going to let folks come on in. Let me, we definitely fasting. Oh yeah, we definitely fasting. Because what's finna happen is the enemy about to get on the head. I'm sick of him. I'm sick of him. I'm gonna tell y'all I'm sick of him. I'm sick of him. Y'all come on in. Come on in. Make sure you share. I'm gonna give y'all a few minutes to get in. I got some stuff to say. I'm glad you said that. I need to put the link in for, yeah, because you left your book. But for those who, it's a lot going on in my head right now. It's a lot going on in my head. But I'm going to tell y'all this. I will not be shaken. I will not be shaken. You know, the enemy does his very best to shake us, to have us worked up, to have us distracted, to have us off course. He does his very best to do that. Like, that's his thing. Like, he specializes in that. But I tell you what, I am so grateful to God that I serve a God that is a God of more than enough, a God of more than what we know, a God of more than what we think is possible. Good morning, Mike. How are you? Yes, April, I got you. I got you. I got you. Before I get started, good. Y'all, I need a shot. I might need 2 shots, okay? Let's go on and get your alive out. Let's take our shot. Mm. We're going to talk. We're going to talk. We're going to talk. Great morning, baby. Get your shot together, babe. I took the alive shot glass. You're going to have to use one of the other ones. But here's to really being alive, to thriving, to knowing the goodness of God, to knowing the goodness of God. Here's to that. We alive. I'm so happy and grateful that we serve a God that knows everything about us, that knows everything that we need, that knows how everything is going to work, how it's going to come together, what's going to happen. I'm so grateful that we serve a God like that, because I'm going to tell you something. If you put your faith and your confidence in man, you will always be disappointed. You just will. It's the way it works, right? But I'm so grateful that we serve the God that we serve. And I just refuse to be shaken. My mom, I'm at my mama's house, my other mama's house, right? Mama John, Mama Buchanan. Okay. I'm at her house and she has a painting and it says, "I will not be shaken." And baby, that thing hit me like a ton of bricks last night. I was like, ooh, that's good. So I want to read the scripture. I want to read the scripture so that you guys can hear the scripture, and then I'm gonna talk about it. Come on, Mama.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna take my
Give money around tomorrow. Okay, all right. Love you, Mom.
I'll fix breakfast when I come back.
Ma, you don't have to.
I'm just gonna do biscuits and sausages and syrup.
Okay, Mom. Thank you. The word says in Psalm 16, verse 8. I'm in the back. Listen. I'm gonna start at the beginning of 16. Listen, y'all just let me do what I'm doing today, okay? Let me do what I'm doing. Psalm 16. This is a Psalm of David. He says, "Keep me safe, O God, for I have come to you for refuge. I said to the Lord, you are my master. Every good thing I have comes from you. The godly people in the land are my true heroes. I take pleasure in them. Troubles multiply for those who chase after other gods. I will not take part in their sacrifices of blood or even speak the names of their gods. Lord, you alone are my inheritance, my cup of blessing. You guard all that is mine." I need somebody to catch that God guards all that is yours. "The land you have given me is a pleasant land." What a wonderful inheritance. Hold on, though. Wait a minute. "I will bless the Lord who guides me. Even at night, my heart instructs me. I know the Lord is always with me. I will not be shaken, for he is right beside me. No wonder my heart is glad and I rejoice. My body rests in safety, for you will not leave my soul among the dead or allow your Holy One to rot in the grave. You will show me the way of life, granting me the joy of your presence and the pleasures of living with you forever." Let me tell y'all something. The enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy, and that is his plan. Now, look, you got to understand that God protects everything that belongs to you, everything that is yours. You got to learn how to rejoice even in the roughest time, even in the toughest times. I'm going to tell you something. The devil will, listen to me. I need y'all to hear me. The devil will want to frustrate you to the point where you give up. You give up on you. You give up on life. You give up on God. You give up. But I'm going to tell you something. Everything that happens in your life happens for you. God is trying to get you someplace. Now, look, people will have the way they think you should do things. People will have what they need, what they want to say about what you do and how you do it. Baby, y'all better get I don't give a flying flip for people. I'm going to tell y'all something, because look, this is what people will do. They will convince you that something is wrong with you because you don't do what they would do or what someone else would do. And I'm going to tell y'all this about me. I don't care what nobody else would do. One thing about me, I love mine. I ride for mine. What I will not do is uphold mine in wrongdoing. Now listen, other people might do that. That might be the way they roll. But I will not uphold mine in wrongdoing. I won't. Okay? I'm not doing it. Angel number 122. There's some things that I've told my children about their choices. Be careful what you choose, because you're going to have to deal with the consequences of your choices. People try to abort people's processes. Y'all know I've been talking about this. We get in the way of God, and God can't do what God desires to do in people's lives. I will not be in the way of God when it comes to my children. God, whatever you got to do in their lives to get them back to you, you do that, God. You do that. Whatever you got to do, God, you do that. You know how I feel about my kids. I'm a mother. I love my children. I love my children, baby. You don't believe me? Mess with man. Mess with man. Mess with them. Because And this, listen, Father God, please help me. Parents, when you're dealing with your grown children, listen to me. When you're dealing with your grown children and you have deposited within them the word of the Lord, the way of God, when you have you know that you taught them God's ways. You know that you've instilled it in them. When they take their little side trips, don't you trip because of what they go through on their side trips. Because those side trips are their choices. But God knew that they were going to make them all alone. God knows the plans he has for them, just like he knows the plans he has for you. And he has a plan for them. And sometimes they got to go through some stuff that you would rather them not go through, but they got to go through it anyway. You would rather them not experience it, but they got to experience it anyway. I get it. That was me. So when my kids have to learn stuff the hard way, baby, I'm not mad. I get it. I understand. I'm bump your head. That's me. I had to bump my head. Okay. Don't believe fat meat greasy. Okay. That. Listen to me. So I'm not mad. But what I'm also not is I'm not going to allow your choices to dictate my choices. I'm going to listen to God at all costs. And I'm going to do what I need to do. And I need people to understand this. When you have the opportunity to be a blessing in the lives of me and my kids, that's an honor and a privilege. But listen, don't think you control nothing, because you don't. You don't control nothing. My kids are some of the most loyal friends. They're loyal. When I say they're loyal, they're loyal. Sometimes I'll be looking at them like, y'all's loyalty is stupid. Okay? It's stupid. Because now you going through something that, okay, but you ain't gone. Okay. Yeah. Y'all ain't no. Okay, y'all. Okay. 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 But I'm going to tell y'all, God knows how to make a way in every situation and circumstance. I'm grateful that I know that my confidence is in God and not in people. See, God will give me wisdom and give me foreknowledge and let me know, right? So that I don't put my faith and my confidence in other people. Because when people do things, people want to control what's done. I had a situation yesterday. I had to tell some young people, didn't I tell y'all not to do that? Didn't I tell y'all not? Oh, y'all just was going to do it anyway. Now you got to see the other side of me. I don't care what you think about me. I don't care that you think I should have done something different, or I should have moved faster, or I should have done this, or I should just do that. And I don't care that you got an attitude or you're trying to be passive aggressive. I don't give two flying flips about it. You understand what I'm telling you? What I'm telling you is I will fight for mine. Now, I might not fight the way you fight, but I'm going to fight because I know that the real battle is in the spirit. See, what's going on is the enemy is trying to catch our children up. If he can't get directly to us, because he ain't, listen, let me tell you something. I'll F him up. I'm playing with the devil. Do you understand what I'm telling y'all? He need to try somebody else. Because I'm not the one. See, now he done made me real mad. Now I'm mad. I'm big mad, right? And he's about to experience the weight of my wrath in the spirit realm. Do you understand what I'm telling you? Some of y'all don't understand the weight of your wrath in the spirit realm. You don't understand the weight that you possess, that you carry. You don't understand your authority. So you out here letting the enemy do whatever he wants to you, to yours, to everything around you, to your stuff, to your money, to your health. Listen, I bind it in the name of Jesus and send it back to the pit of hell. I will bust the devil in his throat. Do you understand? He won't be able to say nothing because I know who I am in the spirit. Y'all better stop letting the enemy. And do you know how the enemy has accessed your disobedience? Your disobedience opens the gateway for the enemy to have access to you and yours. Your disobedience. This is why obedience is better than sacrifice. You better start being obedient to what God is telling you to do. You want to know why you ain't got no weight in the spirit? Because your behind is not obedient. You're not obedient. You make a little sacrifice here and a little sacrifice there, but you ain't all the way obedient. And y'all know why y'all don't be obedient, because you scared. Just tell the truth. Just tell the truth. Scared of who you gonna become. Scared of who you gonna be. You scared of what people gonna say. You scared of how people gonna judge you. Stop being effing scary. I'm sick of scary Christians. How is it that you're a follower of Christ who's been given the authority to do greater works and you scary? Stop being scary. That's a spirit. It's a spirit sent on children when they are children, to muffle them, to muffle their voice, to muffle their authority, to muffle them. The enemy comes to steal your voice. He wants to steal your voice. Because if he can take your voice, he takes your authority. Our authority comes from the words that we speak out of our mouth. Y'all sitting up, letting the enemy wreak havoc. I ain't scared of nothing and nobody. And I said what I said, and I meant it. So, this is what I've learned. Because my path is different, people ain't going to understand it. And it's okay, you ain't got to understand it. But what you best do, what would be in your best interest, is to keep your mouth off of it. Because one thing about God, when it comes to me, God and my angels, they be on assignment for me. I promise you that. And when people think that they can say what they want to say and do all all right, be careful with your mouth, because your mouth will get you in trouble. I've learned the power of be quiet and shut up. Sometimes I got to shut up. I wrote a whole message and I had to delete it. I started another message and I had to delete it. Let me tell y'all something, because I know the power of my words and I got to be careful what I say. Sometimes you just need to shut up. But what God is doing in this season is he's causing the warrior, and we've been talking about it, and we've been talking about the warrior, and we've been talking about it. We've been talking about it, right? Well, God says that this is the season not just to talk about it, but to be about it. I woke up. And I woke up to a message. And I said, okay, you know, one thing that I've done is I have really pussyfooted around people's feelings. I really have. Haven't said stuff that I needed to say, because I pussyfooted around people's feelings, because I didn't want to hurt their feelings. I didn't want them to be mad at me. So I pussyfooted around their feelings. I'm not pussyfooting no more. I'm putting my foot down and I'm saying what needs to be said. And whoever get mad, to hell with you. Do you hear what I said? What I meant, and I meant to hell with you. I mean that. I mean that with every fiber of my being. I mean that. I mean that. I mean it. And I mean it because, listen, when I told y'all that the kingdom of God suffered violence and the violence taken by force, that is a very real thing. And the enemy wants to take your voice so you won't say nothing. So you'll let people do stuff and let people say stuff and let people this and let people that. And you trying to pacify them and placate them. You trying to make them be okay. You want them to be okay with you. I don't care if you like me or not. Okay, I am not holding my tongue any longer. I'm going to say what God tell me to say when he tell me to say it, the way he tell me to say it. And you can be mad and never talk to me again. You ain't got to claim me as nothing in your life. Not your friend, not your sister, not your brother, not your cousin, not your auntie, not your mama, not your grandmama, not your nothing. I ain't got to be nothing in your life. Do you understand? But what I'm going to do in this season is I'm going to be obedient to God and say the things that I need to say to the people that I need to say it to. Because I've been placating people's feelings for far too long. Far too long. People that I know I'm supposed to be done saying some stuff to that I ain't said, because I be trying to be sensitive. I'm not being sensitive no more. I'm going to say what God say the way God say it. Because let me tell y'all something. This thing is getting serious right now. This is a critical time and a critical moment. And it's critical that the voice of the people of God be released in the earth. The earth is moaning and groaning for the sons of God to raise up. And we don't know how to raise up because we got a soft, sensitive spirit. We soft. We sensitive. And the stuff we need to say something about, we don't say nothing about. But we want to say something about stuff that's minor stuff. We got all this to say about little stuff that's insignificant to God, but we ain't got nothing to say about the big stuff of the kingdom. Man, shut up. Don't even say nothing then. If all you want to focus on is this little minute stuff and you won't deal with the heavy things in the spirit, I got a whole problem with you. Don't even talk. Shut up somewhere. Sit down somewhere. Go sit in a corner and suck your thumb. You can't say nothing about the weighty matters in the spirit. What? Be quiet then. Shut up. All of this. These kids think they can tell the parents what to do. They think they the boss of the parents, but then their life be jacked up. And then when their life get jacked up, you supposed to rescue them. They come in and rescue me. I was trying to rescue you when I told you, son, don't do this. Daughter, don't do that. This is not wisdom. Check your circle. Know who you around. Know who you with. I was trying to rescue you when I made sure you lived in nice neighborhoods, sent you to nice schools, took you on college campuses. I was trying to rescue you when I had you in the church. When I taught you the word of God, I was trying to rescue you then. I was giving you everything that I knew that you would need for a strong. I was trying to rescue you when I taught you to be responsible and accountable for your choices. That every action has an equal and opposite reaction, and that there are consequences for every decision that you make. I was trying to rescue you when I shared my life with you, when I shared the things that I went through and the things that happened as a result of my choices. I was trying to rescue you, but you didn't want to listen to that. You didn't want to hear that. I'm just talking. There you go. You're doing it again. Well, now guess what? The best teacher sometimes in life is life. Now life teaching you some lessons. Now life got to teach you because you wouldn't listen. Now life got to teach you. The same way with us. God will be trying to tell us stuff and we don't listen. So, okay, now life got to teach you. If we're not listening to what God is saying, he will allow life to teach you. Angel number 122. This number keeps showing up. So let me go on and look it up because let me tell y'all something. I'm sick of it. I said, God, you're going to have to help me because I'm going to tell you something. I'm saved, sanctified, and filled with the Holy Ghost. But I ain't got time for no games. No time for no games. Angel number 122 is about manifestation and creation. What you say, right? This number is a reminder that you have the power to create your own reality. Hold on. Let me get to it. It signifies progression and change. It asks you to trust yourself and the universe to move forward with your goals. It symbolizes harmony, balance, and cooperation. Hold on. Whatever you put your focus and attention on will materialize in your life. The universe will respond by bringing more of these things into your experience. The number 122 is associated with the archangel Uriel. He is the angel of wisdom, prophecy, and enlightenment. He helps us connect with our intuition and higher self and brings clarity to any situation. Let me tell y'all something. God is trying to help us tap in. But not only will we not tap in, we won't say nothing. I know what God said about my children. I know who they are. I know who they'll be if they do what God says. But he gives them choices. He gives your children choices, and he gives you choices. So, what are you choosing? What are you choosing? What are you choosing to focus on? What are you choosing? Now, you can sit back and be passive and allow life, things, situation, and people to happen to you. Or you can be an active participant in creating the reality that God has already established that has your name on it. But it doesn't happen lackadaisically. Doesn't happen. Listen, we want to control how it happens. When my husband and I were playing pool, he said, oh, you're going to have to start calling your shots. Why? I was hitting shots that he's like, well, did you mean to do that? Was that what you were trying to do? See, listen, I said, God, put the ball in the hole. Put it in the pocket. I didn't tell him how to put the ball in the pocket. I didn't tell him if it was two balls, which one of the balls to put in the pocket. Put the ball in the pocket, God. And that's what he did. My husband's like, and I know you didn't mean to do that. Whether I meant to do it or not, that's what God did. God did. God meant to do that. See, our problem is we want to dictate how everything happens. We want to dictate how it happens. We want to say, okay, this is what I'm going to do, this, and this is going to be the outcome. I remember my husband saying this. My husband said, oh, that's a perfect shot. But it didn't go in. If it didn't go in, it wasn't perfect. It wasn't perfect. If it was perfect, it would have produced what you thought it was going to produce, but we can't dictate what God is doing. We try to dictate what God is doing, and in this season, you can't dictate what God is doing, but what you can do is come into agreement with God on what he wants to do, and then he'll do that. He'll do that. I made a decision. It's so funny to me. I made a decision. I was supposed to do a class today. I made a decision to put my class off because I needed to do something for my son. I made a decision not to preach today, right? Although y'all make sure y'all tune in at 9:30. There is a word from the Lord, right? I just won't be giving it. I made a decision not to preach today so that I could do something for my son. There was a time in my life when I would have done church first. But it created an imbalance in my family. It created an imbalance because I was so focused on the church and the ministry that my family felt neglected. So I learned that in this season of my life, I desire balance. And God honors that because he honors family. He created family. So why would he not honor what he created? He created family before he created church. Before there was a church, there was family. Worship occurred in family. Time with God occurred in family. Before there was a church. But what we've done is we've twisted it around and we make church more important than family. So now our families suffer and follow. You want to know why preachers' kids, just be wilding out? Because they have watched their parents put the church before the family time after time after time after time. Angel number 144. Because as pastors, we are responsible for the church. That means if people don't tithe, you got to pay the bills. Out of your family money, your house has to suffer because the people aren't doing what God has called them to do. So now the children watch. They watch the people, the same people that the family is suffering because of, they're suffering for, right? They don't have money in their household because it's going to the church. Those same people dogging out, mistreating, not holding up their weight for their parents. They resent that. That's why so many pastors' kids don't like church and church people. They've seen the stuff that the people in the church that say they love God do to their parents. They've watched their parents be mistreated by those same people. And they don't want to be a part of it. They don't want no parts of it. My kids watch me. Watch me. Give my last. They've gone without so that I can help other people. One of the things they would say is, Mama, you do more for other people than you do for us. I had to look at it. And what I discovered is there was some truth in what they were saying. And I made a decision that I would not spend all of my time in the church house. I would not do it. I would not do it, that I would not make the church more important than my spouse, than my children. God is more important than everybody, but not the church. You got to get your life in order. And because we lack order, we're confused about things, and we allow people to make us feel guilty about things. So in order to try to get the people in the church to do what God needs them to do, not what you need them to do, but what God needs them to do in order to bless them to do what he wants to do in their life, then what you do oftentimes is pastors will say, well, I can't do this because then the church people will think they can do this. Listen, don't nobody work on no job where if the boss is out, then the employee say, well, I'm just not going to go to work either because the boss didn't go to work. The boss is off. No, it don't work like that. But we will twist our lives up into knots because of the church. We'll neglect our spouse because of the church. We'll neglect our children because of the church. We'll neglect our grandchildren because of the church. I'm not doing it. I refuse. I've gone that route before, and I'm not doing it. Not in this season of my life. God has taught me too much for me to fall into that trap again. So I adjust things to do what I need to do, to be there for my family the way I need to be there for my family. But ain't no devil in hell getting ready to make me feel like I'm a bad mama. I don't care what you think. I don't care what you got to say. I know what I've done for my family. Even with that, I know what I've done for my family. I know, and you should know too. Stop allowing your kids and other people to hold you hostage to the mistakes of your past. Stop being afraid to say what you need to say to them. Stop being scared of their responses or scared of losing them. If my kids get mad at me, if anybody get mad at me, and this is just facts, it is what it is. Y'all can take it how you want to take it, okay? If anybody get mad at me because of my choices and my decisions, mine, right? If you give me, God got to work that out. If I try to have a conversation with you and you don't want to have a conversation with me, or it doesn't work out, the conversation doesn't go the way you want it to go, and you still feel away, listen, God got to work that out. What I'm not going to do is be held hostage to it. When I tell y'all, I placated people, y'all listen, and I would hold stuff and hold stuff and hold stuff. Then if I keep holding it, then it's going to come out somehow. May come out passive aggressively. So rather than have things come out passive aggressively, let's have a conversation, right? Let's have a grown folk conversation. Everybody want to be grown, but don't nobody want to have a grown folk conversation. Everybody can say everything in a text, but they can't say nothing face to face or via FaceTime or via messenger video or even via the phone. Listen, can you look me in my face and say what it is that you got to say? That's what grown people do. Grown people have grown people conversations. That's what grown people do. The problem is everybody want to be grown but ain't grown. You think grown is the amount of money you have, the number of cars you have, the houses that you live in. That's not being grown. That's not being grown. Grown is more than that. Grown is how you deal with people, how you handle people. That's being grown. See, we get so judgmental, and this is the thing. And I'm going to tell y'all something. I'm going to tell y'all, listen, keep living. Because let me tell you what happens. You sit in judgment of your parents and how your parents did and what they did and da-da-da-da-da-da, and you got all this judgment, baby, guess what? Your kids going to have judgment for you. They going to have judgment for you. Listen to me when I tell you they going to have judgment for you. This is why grace is required. You got to give grace to get grace. You got to give grace. You want grace, but you don't want to give no grace. You want people to give you grace, but you so judgmental. Well, where does that work? How does that happen? No, you better get a spirit of grace. Get a spirit of grace. I give grace. And if grace is not received, then, and I got to say what I got to say the way I got to say it, I got to say it, because don't think, because I operate from a place of grace and love, that there's not another side of me. Right? There's another side. That's the side that will stand up when necessary. I know how to stand up when necessary. So just because I don't say, I let so much stuff slide that people say and do, because I don't want to hurt their feelings. And I know if I really say some stuff, they'll be in a corner somewhere crying, talking about I'm the meanest person in the world and I just abuse them. Then stop messing with me. Stop mistaking my kindness for weakness, because I'm not weak by any stretch of the imagination. And what you don't want is not just my wrath, but the wrath of God to come upon you because you messing with me. I mind my business. I mind my business. Do not mess with me, because I ain't messing with you. And if I tell you something that God says, no, God said it. I don't care enough about what's going on in everybody's life to want to dictate everybody's life. I got enough with my own. I would prefer that I were not a prophet. I would prefer that I were not an apostle. I would prefer that I was not a pastor. I would prefer that I was not an evangelist. I would prefer that I was not a teacher. That would be my preference. Because then I wouldn't have to deal with people and their stank attitudes and their lack of responsibility and accountability. Because everybody want to cry victim. Poor me. But don't nobody want to take responsibility for their role in them being where they are. Grow up. Grow up. We created entitled monsters because some of us are entitled monsters. We've spent our whole life blaming our parents for why we are the way we are, blaming the things that have happened in our lives for why we are the way we are. And this happened and this is why. And that happened and that is why. I'm not saying it didn't happen, but how long are you going to allow your past to stop you in your present and prevent you from getting to your future? How long you going to do that? How long? I don't have time for that. There are things that God has for me to do, and I'm not backing up in this season, not this one. Should have caught me last season, maybe, but not this season. So if you get mad at me because I tell you the truth, then you just got to be mad with me. Whatever process you got to go through it. If we get back connected again, great. If we don't, great. I don't care one way or the other. I'm past caring about how people feel who don't want to assume any responsibility. I'll own my part. One thing about me, I'm going to own my part. What I'm not going to do is continue to allow you to act like you ain't got no part. Oh, I'm going to tell you, oh, you ain't have no part. Let me tell you what you did. This is what happened. Okay? Now you do what you want to. This is what I did first. Okay, I'm gonna deal with that first. Lest you say, oh, you're just trying to blame me. I ain't trying to blame nobody. I'm trying to get to the root of the problem. And our problem is we won't get to the root of the problem. We keep playing with the symptoms of the problem. We keep playing with the surface stuff. We keep playing with it, but never dealing with the root, so we never get whole. I want to be whole. If you don't want to be whole, stay away from me. Just stay away from me. I ain't got time for it. I ain't got time for your moaning, groaning, and complaining and crying. I ain't got time for it. Stay on me. Stay what you want to. Cry all you want to. I don't care. Cry over there. Cry over there. Y'all can say, Dr. Diddy, that's me. That's insensitive. I've been sensitive enough. And guess what? Sensitive is not causing people to grow up. They're not growing up. They're not growing up. They continue to cry. Stop crying. Get your life together. Get yourself together. Do what you need to do for your health so that you can have physically available what you need for you to make the mental adjustments that you need to make. Get your mental right. Take what you need to take so that you have the capacity to get your mental right. And I'm not saying it with any judgment. I need y'all to understand. One thing about me is I would understand when I was totally overwhelmed and I could not think my way out of a paper sack. I'm brilliant, but there were times I couldn't think my way out of a paper sack. I could not figure stuff out. I couldn't think. I was overwhelmed. I was distressed. I was depressed. And I would have to go to the doctor. I said, listen, I need help. I can't handle my life right now. Normally, I can do pretty good. I know that I have a chemical imbalance. I understand that. So it's my responsibility to make sure I get my body in alignment so I can get my mental together. I said, listen, this is what I need. I know this is what I need because I learned it in the past. Then I can get clear. I can get calm enough so that I can make rational decisions and I won't be moving out of emotion. Do what you need to do to position yourself to be healed, to get clear, so you can get your mind right. But you are not going to do that continuing to stay in the place of the victim. Stop being a victim. God didn't create you to be a victim. He created you to be a victor. You are continuing to allow your past to keep you in victim status because you won't look at you. Don't deal with you. You won't deal with the fact that some things happened in your life that were not fair. So what? It wasn't fair. That's life. What are you going to do with it? How are you going to allow it to affect you? I choose to take everything from my life and everything that's happened in my life and use it as a lesson so that I can move forward clearly towards my destiny. I'm not going to allow the past to hold me hostage. And when it tries to tap on my shoulder, and it was tapping on my shoulder this week, when it tapped on my shoulder, I said, no, this is what I'm finna do. I'm finna have a grown woman conversation. See, because grown people conversations make all the difference in the world. When you can acknowledge not just what's going on, but where you are in it, what you're feeling, all that, that's grown people stuff. That's grown people stuff. We've got to be able to say. I know y'all Christians don't believe in your throat chakra, right? But everything is energy, right? The Spirit of God is energy, right? And what the enemy does is tries to block your throat from being able to say what you feel, because he knows if you suppress your emotions and what you feel, it causes dis-ease in your body. You want to trace the roots of some of your disease? It is unforgiveness and unspoken things that you've not dealt with, things that you've held in. Some people for decades, they've held stuff in. Y'all, we got to stop holding stuff in. I'm not saying you got to go off on nobody. I'm not even saying you got to have a conversation with somebody. But you better write it down or something. Get that stuff up out of you so that you can be free. You want deliverance? You want deliverance? Start getting some of that stuff up out of you that's holding you hostage. Angel number 177. You're being held hostage by stuff you just won't say. That's why people get mad at me, because I say stuff. Why you got to say that? Why you say that like that? Because that's what God said. We so darn scary. We scary. We scared. I'm telling y'all. We some scary people to have the power of God inside of us. The power of God. But you scary? No, check your power. Something's blocking it. My son has a song. My son Trevellis, uh, Ready Rude Boy. And it's called No Plug, No Power. If you're not plugged into the source, you don't have power. You have the capacity to be a light, but your light won't shine because it ain't plugged into the source. Angel number 177 is associated with courage and bravery. When you see this number, it is a sign from your guardian angels that you are on the right path. They're encouraging you to keep up the good work and stay positive. The number 177 is also a reminder to stay humble and grateful for all that you have. It means you should keep going and continue to put your best in everything you do. It is a message that you are doing a great job and are to be commended for your intentions, efforts, and actions. Listen, it is always a call to action. 177 is a call to action, to do something. It tells you, it's your guardian angels telling you to go after your dreams to achieve greatness. It's a powerful figure symbolizing spiritual awakening, leadership, self-confidence, and intuition. It is a sign that abundance and overflow is waiting for you. You don't have anything to be afraid of. Everything that happens in your life happens for you and not to you. So you got to ask yourself, what is this happening for? What is it that God is trying to do in my life? What is it that he's trying to get to me? That's what you have to do. It is incumbent upon you to do your part. And y'all, there's no more excuses. God is not specializing in your excuses or your reasons why you can't. He's not doing it. So this is what's going to happen, and I'm going to tell y'all. See, y'all think it's a game, but this is life or death. See, because some of y'all, listen, let me change that. All of us, God has been giving us chance after chance after chance to do what he's told us, to act on what he's deposited on in us. And now he like, if you ain't going to do it, you might as well come home to glory. If you ain't going to do it. You ain't going to do it, you might as well come on. Because what's your purpose? What is the point? You might as well come on home. Come on. Come on home. Come on home. Y'all need to understand this is life or death. This is life or death. This is serious. This is not a game. But keep playing with it. Keep playing with the call of God on your life. Keep playing with doing what God tells you to do. Keep playing with stepping into your purpose and your destiny. You keep playing with it. See how that worked for you. But as for me, oh no, I'm not playing with it. See, that's why I'm going to stop placating people. I can't do it. I'm going to stop pussyfooting around with people. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. So I've learned this. I've learned not to cast your pearls before swine. When people don't appreciate, when they don't receive what you're saying, I stop talking about it. What am I talking about it for? For what? No. You got to understand that people won't get things until they're ready. You can't make them be ready. You can want them to be ready, but you can't make them be ready. You're not going to get it. So I stop. You know, if we would spend more time dealing with the people who want things versus the people who don't want it, that we trying to make want it, who don't get it, that we trying to make get it, if we would spend more time with the people who want it and who get it, we'll see greater movement. We'll see greater movement in our lives. I can talk to my kids all day long. If they don't want to hear what I got to say, it ain't no sense in me saying nothing. Sometimes I just let them talk because I know they don't really want to hear what I got to say. When they're ready, I'll say it. But I'm only just going to listen for so long to a certain thing. Like, I'm just not going to keep listening to it over and over again. I'm going to change the subject, or we're not going to talk. We're not going to talk for a minute because I'm going to need you to deal with that. And the people might say that's mean. You can say what you want to. You know, I just know that in this season, I don't have a lot of time and energy to put in places where it is not producing something. I love you. Doesn't mean I don't love you. I love you. But I'm not going to keep putting my time and energy in stuff that ain't producing. Sometimes you got to what? You got to prune the vines. We scared to prune. I don't care. I'm pruning. Cut, snip, snip. I'm good. It's all right. It's all right. I ain't mad. I ain't mad. I just am not wasting energy. My energy is good. I got great energy. So I'm going to put it where it is appreciated and valued, received, respected, and honored. That's where I'm going to pour it. Just understand that people play the role they play in your life. And you can't make people play roles that they don't want to play. So you do what you got to do. And you ain't got to be mad about it. We just spend too much time being mad at the wrong thing. What you need to be mad at is the enemy and the stuff that he's doing. So fight the battles in the spirit realm so that God can produce in the earth realm. Listen, it's time to create the vision that God has for your life. You have the authority. The question is, will you speak up? Will you begin to declare? Will you seek God for it? Will you put it before you? You can. You have the power and the authority. But will you? It's not a question of can you. The question is, will you? Will you? Will you? Will you do it? Next Sunday, I'm going to be doing the vision setting class. Hold on. I'm going to be doing the vision setting class. It's time for you to set the vision before you. I know y'all didn't say a whole lot today. I get it. I couldn't comment to it anyway. Because, listen, this was one of them days. Just one of them days. Don't take it personal. Don't take it personal. But it's one of them days. Next Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'll be doing the Dr. V Vision Setting course. Y'all register for this class. Man, if you want to see manifestation in your life, register for the class, take the class, do the work, put the vision before you, and follow the freaking instructions. Okay? Follow the instructions and watch God do what he does, which is what he specializes in is creating. And he's given us creative power because he resides in us. Now, what you create is going to be determined by what you say, by what you think. So be careful what you say and what you think. All right, y'all, listen. If you want to sow a seed, you can sow a seed at Cash App $DRV Johnson 777. But let me just let you know, your seed is not required for me to be able to do what God is doing with me. Okay? Your seed is not even for me. Your seed is for you. You want to harvest? Put the seed in the ground. Otherwise, don't be surprised when your harvest is low. The Word of God says this. The harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. And you wonder why people don't want to labor? They don't want to be a laborer? Because they get tired of laboring and people not listening. Y'all look, but don't get moved by it. Don't let it move you. All right, y'all. Hey, brother, how you doing? Listen, I love y'all to life and life more abundant. We start the fast on tomorrow. Tomorrow we start Forward Focus 21 days to set focus and propel you into destiny. Go into the fast with the expectation that God is going to move some things out of the way and move you forward to your destiny. The goal is to stay focused on moving forward. I spent my life trying to share with people how to move forward. And then God began to chastise me and say, listen, I'm going to need you to do some more application. So this season has been about me really applying the things that I wrote. And sometimes I read the stuff I wrote and I'm like, man, I wrote that. That's good. It's time to apply Don't just read the word, but to apply the word to your life. 21-day fast. If you're not a part of the 4 Focus 21 group, go search for the group 4 Focus 21. 4 Focus 21. Join the group, and you'll get messages every day. I'll be talking about each of the days, and there's always reflection questions for you. And the key is in those questions. When you really answer those questions will help you get clarity on where you are and what needs to happen in your life. Until then, make sure that you guys tune in at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time, and 6:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. None other than Minister Prophet. I'm gonna say Prophet. I'm not gonna say Prophet. It's Prophet. April Green Anderson will be bringing forth the word today. Thank you, April, for accepting the assignment. Don't miss it. I know she has a word from God. Listen, I love you guys to life and life more abundant. Have an absolutely amazing and incredible day. Mwah.